Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am really glad you're here. Today's date is Thursday, July 18th, 2024. Before I get too far into this video, I do want to just let you know that I am making this video while there is some construction work going on outside. Hopefully my filters will keep that noise from being in the video, but if you do end up hearing some sounds that sound like power saws or hammers, that's what it is. I have a carport that's being built. It's the last item on making my little home ready for me to age in place in. So without further ado, let's get to the video. I decided that I didn't want to do any any additional direct videos about the recent shooting at the Pennsylvania rally, because a lot of energy is going into that. And I feel like we have, within my videos, covered the topic as well as we can until more information is coming out. And that information is deliberately being confusing, which is something I'm going to talk about within this video. And then we're going to ask the universe for a little bit of insights and advice and kind of information about what our focus should really be on. I'm going to take you to a compilation. It seems like, as you looked at it, I'm comparing apples and oranges. I frequently do that, but often it's because intuitively I know there's going to be a meeting point, and that's what we're trying to get to with our thoughts and our speculation and the data we review. So let's go to that compilation, which if you want to read it in more detail at a later date, click on the Facebook link that will be in the video description box. Okay, let's go to that share screen. This is the thumbnail I decided to use because I need to use one that doesn't directly reference 17, just because of requirements for the platforms that a lot of my content goes on to. But we are going to look at the fact that today, on the 18th of July, there were some deltas that seem to be very relevant to what's going on. Do not give up citizen investigation. Public awareness is important. Bypass of controlled, approved topics. General public steered by MSDNC like a dog steering sheep, or in other words, the tail wagging the dog. Have faith in humanity. There was an additional one that was a delta for today that I thought was relevant. There's a number of them, and you are welcome to review them yourself. I can't put the direct link to where I find these, but it's pretty common knowledge among most of my viewers. And so good luck finding it. Again, I'd love to share that, but we have to keep the channel up. It says, when the news is no longer trustworthy, it is up to each of us to use discernment. That's a word you commonly hear me referring to. Have faith and trust in yourself. Unity, not division. Where we go one, we go all. Now, there were some anons commenting about how there is so much information coming out there about that shooting, and how much of it disagrees with one another. And one or two anons had some really good comments to make about why that's deliberate. Let's take a look at that. It says, overloading people with confusing information is a way to get them to shut it all out. The more we hear that doesn't make sense, the quicker we choose to move on to things we understand. It's human nature. They also want people to doubt everything, including the provable facts that the Secret Service can't answer about that incident. So one of the things that's not included here, because this conversation site tends to be very politically focused, is the fact that we are humans. We have energy that is harvested by those we wouldn't willingly give our energy to. And their favorite harvest substance is fear. When they can't engender fear, they can make themselves quite happy on confusion. And I feel like the Trump shooting attempt, well, shooting, it was just an attempt, there were other factors at play here, is a combination of harvesting the loosh of fear, and also now in the days since then, harvesting some confusion. So while yes, they want us to look the other way, we were advised to keep up the efforts at citizen journalism. Now, if you're unsure who to trust in these confusing times, trust the courageous ones. Truth requires courage. Courage requires fortitude. Truth requires integrity. Cowards tell lies. Cowards support liars. Telling a lie is easy. Believing a lie is easy. Being compliant is easy. Staying silent is easy. Trusting without thinking is easy. Thinking for yourself is hard. Standing up for what is right is hard. Being real and authentic is hard. In times like these, it takes all the courage in the world to question the status quo and to speak up and tell the truth. And I think that advice blends in really, really nicely with what we saw up here where they were talking, the Delta said to be aware that we need to continue our efforts as citizen journalists. Now, I paraphrased and used parts of it's an excerpt I'm going to read from a Gap post by Mel K on at Little Mel, okay? Where we go one, we go all has a deep meaning. We are all one. Most humans believe in the power of prayer. Consciousness is power. The belief one's thoughts can create things, and the belief of many people having the same thoughts can create even more powerful things. Mass collective consciousness is our greatest power, and that will be the focus of my tarot question. Imagine the power that 17 has. Millions of us believe in one plan. We think about it all the time. We pray about it all the time. We know it will happen. Mass consciousness thinking about something all of the time can create it. We have to focus on the prize. God wins, the light wins. If we keep focusing on that as a like-minded whole group, we become invincible. Enough of us realize this, that we remain calm, cool, and sure of the outcome. Keep your focus on where we go one, we go all. Knowing that we are all one is what's embedded in that statement so truly. Not the distractions and sidebar conversations. Know that we're manifesting the result of our thoughts and prayers have already created. God wins, the light wins. So, according to that post by Mel K, which I used an excerpt of and then modified to more accurately reflect my sentiments, but I wanted to give credit to the original author there. Mass consciousness is our greatest power, and there's enough of us that don't get bogged down in the minutia of how many psyops were in process, how many evildoers were active that day. Was it staged? Was it staged plus, impacted by other characters? We need to keep investigating that, but we don't need to be giving our energy that is going to creating the world we want to live in and the final outcome, which will be beautiful. We don't want to be giving loosh, either harvested through fear or confusion. And make no mistake, as I said, there is a deliberate confusion aspect to the information that's coming out. By the way, it was pretty highly praised in discussion groups that Twitter is being a very good place for citizen journalists to refute some of the statements that are being made and to bring forth footage and commentary and things like that that kind of immediately shoot holes in some of these official narratives that are coming out. So again, I don't think we'll get any advice from the universe to back off from that. I think the delta of those posts about citizen journalism is so important, is very key. But we can be citizen journalists or interested in the findings of citizen journalists without contributing our energy in ways we don't want it contributed. So according to that poster, and I agree because I put it in there, the collective consciousness, the manifestation powers of collective consciousness, is our greatest power. Let's see if the universe wants to build on that with insights and information, and I'll even put a yes or no element into the question. And that will be, the yes or no element will be, is it true that the mass collective consciousness is our greatest power? And including having the power to manifest and make things happen. Now, I'd always heard that our highest power was love. But love comes from our consciousness, and when it's combined with others, I can see why that sentiment was stated that way. So we want to know if there's truth in that assertion that mass collective consciousness is our greatest power, plus insights and information. Okay, enough talking from me. Some of you will be glad to hear that. And let's move the camera over to the tarot table and work with the cards and see what they want to advise us about this. Again, I am not saying back off from interest in current events at all. It goes back to that old, now we need to remember that we're supposed to be observing them and not absorbing them. And we can observe them even as we refute them or add details or context information or things like that. Absolutely. Here we go. Okay, is it true that our collective consciousness is where our biggest power comes from? Plus other insights and information, including where should our focus be at this time in events? Oops, those were a number of cards, so I'm not going to worry that they're a jump out. I'll just keep shuffling so the universe can put them in the order it wishes. Okay, we have a Six of Wands, the World, Six of Pentacles, Page of Swords, Five of Pentacles, Two of Cups, and Six of Swords. What a beautiful, beautiful, let me get these straight for the camera, or straighter. What a beautiful assortment of cards we have here with advice from the universe. First of all, you'll notice, since aces are my hard yes, we don't have a hard yes yet, but we're going to get a couple more cards and one could still show up. But look, we've got the victory card here. Wreaths are victories, okay? So yes, our collective human consciousness, especially when enough of us focus on the truth without getting distracted by sidebars, is extremely powerful. Powerful enough to change the world. Okay, now, recent past, we have the Six of Pentacles showing some, as they drop information and try to distract us, we need to keep our focus and understand that these events and commentaries and things like that, again, the distractions are only a small part of the whole picture. So they're dropping what they think will keep us distracted into our laps and into our awareness, but we need to have our awareness being on the fact that we are powerful, creative beings. And when we have a similar focus, we are creators because of that focus. The power of prayer and thought is just unimaginable. Now, the Page of Swords is our current situation here. Now, he's ready to fight, should the need be, absolutely. And we need to be ready, to stand up for our truth or against lies, absolutely. But this is also a card that talks about intelligence and truth and using some diplomacy. Now, we know about that. We know that there's times if we know someone has made a health decision, it does no good to talk to them about that decision. It's already done. Okay? But we are learning to wield that sword of truth in a very diplomatic way and effectively, and wield the power of our collective consciousness very powerfully as well. That's why we have the victory on both sides. It's something that's happening now, is the power of the collective consciousness. To have a huge event like that shooting at the Pennsylvania rally and be able to observe it, be interested in the outcome, to discern the lies from the truth as it slowly comes out, to say, I know that you're deliberately distracting us and confusing us because you want us to just get on overload and leave it behind. We're not leaving it behind. We want the truth, but we're not going to get bogged down in the pursuit of it. Okay, not spiritually, not emotionally, not with our energy. Let's move forward. In the near future, we were asking for some advice and insights. Be aware that, and we know this, those of us that are awake are not a majority of the population, but there are enough of us that we are powerful manifestors. Powerful. Okay, and we have some agreement to that coming to us. Again, this is a blending of divine masculine and feminine energy, which is generating that power. And those of us that are doing that are kind of aware that we are manifesting a future. We are making changes energetically by thinking them into being. And we keep our eye on the prize, that it's all about protecting innocent life and helping our entire plane of existence to go from one of chaos and debt slavery and all of the other negatives that were part of this world, moving into a much better and brighter future. 2 more cards. Let's see what the universe wanted us to know. The Tower is showing up again. Guys, we have Tower moments showing up over and over and over. We are getting close to a Tower moment. And I think this is for the world, not just the United States. And yeah, we got our hard yes with the Ace of Swords. So stand in your power, folks. And the power is that of thought and prayer and manifesting collectively, which means narrowing our focus down to some important key elements and having them be part of our daily thoughts and daily manifestation efforts and daily prayers. Let's recap. Today had a couple of deltas for the posts that were done by the 17 team, and both of them stated emphatically that citizen journalism is very important and to keep up those efforts. Now, that was our apple. Then our orange, we looked at the assertion that the most powerful weapon in our human arsenal is the power of the collective consciousness, and within that is some manifestation powers. And then there was a talk of standing in your truth and how easy it is to be passive, to be asleep, what have you. Just kind of an encouragement to hold the line and keep going. If you are one of those, and if you're watching this, you are almost undoubtedly awake and aware. And that we want to pursue truth through citizen journalism, or if they're kind of universal truths, through reflection and learning and growing. But we ask the universe, is that true? Is that what our greatest power is? Is that of the collective consciousness to manifest and change the world? And we ended up with a very definite yes on that. Absolutely. This was one of the last cards showing. Now, I knew we were getting a yes early on in the read because what showed up was the victory card of the 6 of Wands and just a nod that, yeah, this is a worldwide power. It's a worldwide possibility. It's a worldwide action. In other words, the collective consciousness is not just for one region, one culture, one continent. It is worldwide, and it's absolutely true. Now, in the recent past, there have been some events that are meant to distract us. They're not even a small part of what's available as far as truth goes or information, just what was deemed appropriate and necessary to distract humanity, and especially the United States with the shooting at the Pennsylvania rally. Now, in the ensuing days, there's conflicting information coming out that's very deliberate, because we also talked about the fact that evil harvests 2 emotions from us, kind of like for their energetic food source. Their favorite is fear. Their second favorite that they'll make do on is confusion. So it's very deliberate, because it's human nature. If you deal with confusion for too long, you turn away from it all. Well, we don't want to turn away from the pursuit of truth, but we also don't want the pursuit of truth to happen at the expense of wielding our greatest power, which is that of the collective consciousness. And that was why there was an assertion that what's probably the biggest gift from 17 is that it elevates us past some of those events and distractions and things like that, and says, know the power of one. We are one, and we collectively join into that one with common purpose to make our world be better and brighter and lighter, to end things like harm to little ones in any form or fashion, to end debt slavery, to get our world where it should be, get humanity healed and restored and back on the path where we can explore our best and brightest possibilities. That's what I believe is at the core of 17. It's not just political. It's, hey, think past that, because where we go one, we go all, and we need to know that we're all part of the one. Okay, so there was a nod to the fact that just, yes, in the near future, we're still going to be feeling like we're kind of like swimming upstream a little bit, that we're going to still have the sleepers. We're going to have the people that don't have the maturity to not invest their energy into things that aren't what they seem. Okay, but we who are awake and aware of our power can own it and still keep an eye on events, again, as always, saying observing them without absorbing the energy from them, or donating our energy to those who wish to harvest it from them. And then, as always, we're being blessed and reassured, because at the core of all that is for all of humanity, having us able to pursue our best possibilities, protecting innocent life in the process. Absolutely. And then a nod, once again, tower card showing up for farther down the line on the near future. There are tower events coming. I don't claim to know what they are, because we'll get a fulfillment of the promise of them in surprising ways. Now, is it going to be the fulfillment of some of the ascension activity that's going on? A restoration of our DNA, a combination of one or more? Is it going to be some political upheaval that ends in some really nice results? I think it's going to be more than just politics. I really do. I think it needs to be more. And I think those that want it to only be politics, their motives should really be examined closely. So that's it for this video. Our greatest power is as a collective consciousness moving into a space where we manifest what we want to have be our world and our existence. So embrace your biggest power, and don't feel bad that you're still interested in current events and following them. Absolutely do that. Always with your discernment on high and saying, I don't want to give my energy to this or that. I'm giving it some interest, but not energy. It's very important. So until next time, I hope the construction noise wasn't picked up by the video. If it was, I apologize. It'll be over in a few days. And until next time, if you're willing to receive it, I send you love, light, and I wish for you everything bright. Bye.